Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1843, Shake It Up Saturday. It has been an amazing day, I have to tell you. So, what made it so special? We had a lot of things shake it up, including starting with this one over here who decided that we weren't going to walk the normal route because she had a friend to go rescue. Yes, Zeffy has a friend called Coco, and Coco's this beautiful little dog. I don't even know what breed it is, but Coco's this little dog, and the person has one of those push chair walker things for dogs, and that she'll put it in there because she goes for very long walks that the poor dog can't keep up with, and she puts the dog down and walks it around for a little bit, but it's got this little bed thing that it rides in. And last night when we were out for a walk, we met up with them. Was it last night? Yesterday morning we met up with them on our walk. Excuse me. And this one dog comes along. There's one dog, Peanut, and Peanut's this other little dog. Coco does not like Peanut, and Coco goes ballistic if Peanut gets with. Now, when she first met Zeffy, she started barking at Zeffy, and then over time, Zeffy and Coco became friends. This other dog, Peanut, Zeffy gets on fine with Peanut, but Coco went ballistic with this dog, and it was this high-pitched screeching sound coming out of this dog, and I'm like, what the heck? And she's, oh, yep. And so the owner had to pick up Coco and like cuddle her and tell her everything was okay, but she kept like waiting until this dog got a certain distance away before she finally started calming down. And Zeffy's like right there, like, what's going on? What's happening? And so then this morning we're out walking, and we get to the end of the street where we cross over into the park. We're crossing over into the park when this noise from yesterday starts up. And Zeffy, when we go across the road, she starts going to the left in the mornings because that's the way we go in the mornings. This was coming from our right. It was 2 blocks away. I kid you not. It was 2 blocks away. And as we're going across the street, this noise starts up. Zeffy immediately just starts going, like, she's like, urgent mode. Let's go. Come on. We're going. Let's move it. And like, she's like trotting along there and dragging me along. I am so glad that I'm as big as I am, because that little 40-pound dog over there, she's got a pull and a half on her, I tell you. And all she can hear is Coco's in trouble. Coco needs help. And she's just like trotting along like she was beeline straight for where this noise was coming from, two blocks away. And but of course we had to stop and peel off. So we get up to, and as we're walking up there, the guy with Peanut comes down towards us and walks past, and was, oh, good morning. And he's like, good morning, and walks past us. Zeffy didn't even pay any attention to Peanut. She had a mission. She had to get to Coco immediately. And we get up there, and our other friends that have got dogs as well that we've met, the dog walking friends that we have met along the way, they were all standing up there and talking about the noise. And I get up there, and I'm just kind of, because it's an uphill, right, to get to where they were. And then like, are you okay? I said, she said, oh, did you hear? And she goes, oh, did you hear Coco? And I went, yeah. I said, we were crossing the street to come into the park, and all of a sudden Coco started up, and Zeffy just turned and started. I said, she normally goes that way in the morning. She went this way. She goes, I am so sorry. I said, not a problem. I said, because what's going to happen now is that we're going to, when we finish here, we're going to walk over a few places. She's going to poop, we'll pick it up, and then she's going to decide that the poop needs to go into the trash can that sits in the island in the middle of the road. Yes, we have an island in the middle of the road where there is a trash can, and Zeffy's going to decide that's what the can that she's going to go to. And then when we come back across, she's going to go left and go around the neighborhood and come back into the park at this point. And then I realizes, trust me, I only took her that way once, and she's now gone that way twice. And that's exactly what happened. But we had a good conversation there as well. And as soon as we get there, Zeffy's straight up to the pushchair thing that Coco has her bed in, and she's sniffing, and Coco's just sitting there, and Zeffy's sniffing all over her. Are you okay? And letting out these little whimpers and everything else. And I thought that it was so sweet that she went to the rescue of her friend. But as soon as the second that noise started, Zeffy's like, we're going this way. So that was our first adventure for this morning. So we ended up on this really nice long walk this morning, more than our usual one. We got to have some great conversations this morning as well. Zeffy got to make sure her friend was okay. And then we came home and I did a little bit of genealogy this morning. got ready because I had a Zoom call to do. And then as soon as that Zoom call's over, I was then going off to meet a friend at a Chinese restaurant for lunch. And so then I had the Zoom call, had this amazing Zoom call with a friend of mine, it's a new friend of mine. And we even discovered new things today together, which I'm not talking about, but we discovered new things today together, and we're sort of like, So I've got some Post-its here now that tell me things I have to do, because I didn't realize that, we just didn't realize. And I'm just like, oh, look at this. You can do this, this, and this. And she's like, oh, okay. So we both have our little Post-it notes of what we need to do. And we're going to go and have fun with that. So that was a pretty cool discovery. And so then I went to meet my friend, and she had picked a Chinese restaurant that is less than a 10-minute drive from my house. And I got there. We were going to meet at 11:15, but then she was running late and said, I'll be there between 11:20, 11:25. This is not a problem. I got there just after 11:20. The place doesn't open till 11:30. So I parked. Really funny. We're in the shopping center, and they had all these parking spaces in front of the restaurant that were available. Then across the road, you had all the islands going down between the parking spaces, creating these areas. So I backed into this one that was underneath this tree, and I sat there. And I tell you this, I kid you not, I got there at, I think it was 11:22. I get there, the place opens at 11:30. By 11:25, every single one of those car parks in front of the restaurant were full. Everybody was waiting for the restaurant to get open and to open up. And so I met my friend Emmy inside. She said to me, she says, I'm here. I says, yep, I'm here. I'm just waiting in the parking lot for them to open up, because it was like, it was almost 11:30. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I got the time wrong. I says, don't worry about it. And so I go in there, and Emmy and I have been friends for like 2.5 years. We have never met in person. We have done a lot of Zooms together. We've been on a lot of different calls together and different things, and gotten to know each other. We've done business together, but we never met in person. So I got to meet her in person today, and she is, I am so blessed to have this woman in my life. She is just such an incredible person with incredible energy and really good vibes. And I get that from her whenever we have a conversation on the phone, on a Zoom, whenever. I always get those good vibes. It was multiplied now that we were in person. And so I got there. She had even bought this little gift bag with doggy treats for Zeffy, as to say sorry for taking your mum away, since Zeffy couldn't come to the restaurant. But I have to tell you, this Chinese restaurant was awesome. I didn't even know it was there in the shopping center, but then I looked around the shopping center and thought, there's nothing in here I would use, maybe the gas station. But it's less than 10 minutes from my house. And like I said to her, I says, by myself, I very rarely go out to restaurants. I tend to cook at home. And so this was a treat for me to go out. We had so much food. I'm just like, so we had a table for 4. It was covered. There was so many dishes, but I got to try things I had never tried before. That were just, it was the food. The food at this Chinese restaurant was outstanding. It was one of the best Chinese restaurants I have ever dined in, and the food was amazing, reasonably priced. Amazing food. We had a ton of leftovers, and she says, here. And we packed it all up, and she says, and gave me all 3 containers. I said, you don't want to take any of this? She's like, no. So I now have a refrigerator with like 3 different to-go containers in there full of our leftovers. And I looked at it and I went, well, this is going to do me, because it was lunchtime. I said, this is going to do me dinner tonight, breakfast tomorrow, lunch tomorrow, dinner tomorrow, maybe even breakfast on Monday. And I was actually planning on stopping on the way home just to do a little bit of a grocery shop on the way home, just get some essentials like eggs and fruit and vegetables. And she said, well, no, you don't have to do. And I couldn't do this with leftovers in the car. So I was just like, okay, I'll go home. And yes, so here we are home. And then so I got home and of course got greeted at the door and actually didn't get a very big story this time. I got a story, but not a very big story from her. And but she's been following me around everywhere, and we had a snooze this afternoon. And I've been working on my genealogy project that I have for myself, trying to find how these 2 people are connected to me. I know they're connected to my 3rd cousin twice removed. I know they're connected to me. So now we have to find, and I've figured out where the connection may come in. But there's 8 kids to go through, and this couple had so my 4th great grandparents had 8 children. One of them died at the age of 1. So they had 7 that survived to adulthood and went on. And so I'm now working my way through each child that I don't know, which is 5 of them, and going in and seeing where I can find wedding records and all that, because I know when it comes to the guys, it's going to be maybe one of their daughters, if they had daughters that got married into one of these other family names, since the family names that I'm researching aren't part of the Gurneys. So I'm looking at the Gurneys, and so I know that the ones that we have in common on the chart that we came up with, none of them are Gurneys. And so if they are connected to the Gurneys, it's going to be coming in where somebody with a Gurney name, a female with a Gurney name, got married to somebody who is not a Gurney. So that's what we're looking at. So I'm going through the guys and the girls and figuring out who they got married to. And but I put it into I did my family group sheet so I could see at a glance who's married, who's not married, which ones do I ignore because of the age they were when they passed, and things like that. So I've got all the information I know about this family on this group sheet, and now it's going in and filling in the gaps. So that's my genealogy project that I'm working on. I didn't get a lot of it done today. I did watch some really cool videos. I have to tell you, there are some people out there that make me go, are you kidding me? Like, I was watching some TikTok videos, and my friend Kathy, we send each other reels and TikTok videos all the time that just crack us up. And some of them are just sort of like, you got to go, really? But what makes it even funnier is that you have this person who starts this video, then it switches to a Gen Xer, and they put their twist on it, which makes it even funnier. And some of them are just sort of like, really? Are you serious? Yeah, it was one of the ones that gave this. I don't know what this game show is, but there was this guy, I guess he was the contestant, was sitting in a chair in the middle of the circle. He sits in this chair. There is a rotating row of seats that go around him that have celebrities in them. And the guy, the presenter, the host of the show, stands in the middle next to the chair and says, okay. And he basically says this. He says, okay, I want to hear the names of green fruits and vegetables. And so then this outer ring just starts to slowly move. And as they come in front of the contestant that's sitting in the seat in the middle, as they come in front and face him, they have to say this green fruit or vegetable. And there was like cucumber and apple and kale and orange. I don't know where the orange came from, but everybody on set just lost it. Obviously, he didn't listen to the instructions of green. He just heard fruits and vegetables, because his next question was, when everybody started laughing, he was like, well, it's a fruit. So obviously he completely missed the discussion of the fact that it's green. Because the host then says to him, well, orange pretty much describes its color. So that was one of my favorite ones from today. And then there was this golf shot. I love the golf ones, but they do these really unusual shots. And the cameraman's following the ball and it goes over this set of trees. Can't remember who the golfer was, but it's got a leg in the thing. He's got to get it around the corner to get to the tee. So he whacks the crap out of this thing. It goes flying, and the cameraman's there. He's doing this thing. It switches to the other camera, which is around the bend, and the cameraman's got it on the thing, and then he totally loses sight of it. And then he comes back, and there's this guy just standing there like stock still. He is not moving. He's got a shopping bag in this, a plastic bag in this hand that he's holding down at his side. He is frozen in place. And what had happened was the ball had come down. It had bounced onto the kart track. Then it had come up over, because they then went down into slow, like frame by frame motion after they had figured out what had happened. And it comes up over the top of everybody, bounces between this guy's legs, and goes up and gets stuck underneath his shirt, between his shirt and his shorts. It gets stuck there. This guy's like frozen because he can't move, because then it moves where the ball landed. And so they come down, and the officials are with the golfer, and I can't remember which golfer it was. And and they put the markers down by where his foot is, and then he does the golf club length, and it's still on the cart track, and so he puts his little marker thing, puts his marker thing there, and then they tell the guy he can move. He just takes a step, and the ball falls down onto the ground and rolls away. So the guy, and they pick it up, and the golfer signs it to him and gives it to the guy who caught his golf ball. But some of those shots are just sort of like, are you kidding me? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's one where the guy was standing there with his drink and the golf ball landed in his drink. He's just standing there minding his business, having his drink, and this golf ball pop into his drink. And yep. So there was that shot as well, but that was a different day, a different thing. But, the day got shaken up a little bit. We didn't do anything routine that we normally do on a Saturday, well, except for our walks. But even our walk got shaken up by Coco starting her little barks and everything, her little tantrum of this dog coming along. And so Zeffie had to go save Coco and make sure she was okay. Very proud of my girl. She likes to make sure her friends are okay. But what happened to shake up your Saturday? What did you do that was not routine? I'm so blessed with today. I got to have conversations with two incredible women today, and got to share a meal with one of them, and it was just amazing. We had a great conversation on this, that, and the other thing. We talked business, we talked personal, and this Chinese place was hopping. We were there for a couple of hours, and they weren't. It's not a very big restaurant. There's not a lot of tables in there, but excuse me, burps. But we just sat there and occupied this table as we just made our way through this mountain of food, and they weren't worried about rushing us out. They came over and checked on us. They saw we were low on water. They bring over a carafe of water for us and said, we'll just leave this here. We'd said, thank you very much. Oh, can you take this and this? Give us a little bit more elbow space on the tables. But they were really nice. The wait staff was excellent. It was excellent service. It really was. They did an awesome, awesome job. And then she tells me, she goes, oh, this isn't the best Chinese restaurant in Phoenix. I'm like, what? She says, next time we meet, I'm going to take you to the best one in Phoenix. And so she pulls it up on her phone and says, she says, oh, it's 12 miles, about 30 minutes away. I'm like, okay. So, and then she's talking about who she's going to invite that time to come along and join us. So we'll see about that one when we get that one sorted out. But I have to say, I have not been in a Chinese restaurant to be honest, I don't remember the last time I was in a Chinese restaurant. It's been a few years. So, but this was good. I got to try some foods I've never tried before. And we made sure that everything was spice-free and free of onions. And they had these really yummy crab puffs. Those were really good. And the egg rolls didn't have any onions in them. I guess they make them without onions in them. Because we told them we can't have onions in anything. And even the dishes that she ordered, we didn't put any onions in. She made them non-spicy, even though one of the dishes is usually spicy. She says no spice in that, just so I would have the opportunity to try it. It was a really good, and it was a Taiwanese beef, I think it was. It was really delicious. So I have no complaints about the food I had today. It was all excellent. I thought it's one of the best Chinese restaurants I've ever been in. And she's telling me there's another one in town that's even better. And I'm just like, how can you top this? So I got to meet my friend Emmy in person for the first time, which was awesome. And we're already working on when we're going to meet up again, and who we're going to invite to come join us next time. So it's not just the two of us, but we had a great conversation anyway. It was awesome. So what shook up your Saturday today? And let's see, what day is it? It's the 17th today. So in 3 weeks, we get to have our very first Love to Read book club discussion on The Housemaid. Do I have it? Oh, no, it's out in the other room. We're reading The Housemaid as our first book, and we're going to be having our first discussion in 3 weeks. Our first book discussion in 3 weeks on Saturday, the 7th of September, and at 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So go here, scan here, come join the group. And when you come join the group, all the details are in the group about the thing, or we're also on Eventbrite as well. So you can look up the Love to Read book club in there to come join the event as well, because we're opening it up to anybody who's read the book and wants to come and have a discussion with us. So that's it from us for today. We are out of here. We're going to go head out shortly for a walk. I want the sun down just a little more in about 30 minutes. So I get to do 30 minutes of genealogy now. So I go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow.